why am I here? Right? I'm Tim Black. I do a web show. And who I am is you. Just one of you guys, man. Fighting for what I believe in. Trying my best to speak truth to power. For instance, DACA, right? I looked at that. I looked at the way they were talking about the issue. Of course, we don't want people getting, we don't want these young people or any people being dragged out of the country who have committed a crime. That's just crazy, right? But the context of the discussion, the context of why Obama put that in place to begin with was to, in my opinion, was to deflect and distract people from the actual issue that he was the deporter in chief. So it was sort of like throw a cookie to the kids, make them feel good. Meanwhile, I'm dragging their parents and everyone in their neighborhood out of the country. And I said, you know what? I have to be able to talk about these issues, regardless if you make it down. But people need to know that. That's why that message need not only be on YouTube, where Google can step on it. It needs to be everywhere else. And something I'm slacking on, I left out. That my discussion about DACA needs to also be on my own website. Net neutrality, it's scary, and we know what they put it in place to do, which is to control the message. But best way to fight is diversify, but I can't stress enough, get your own website. Don't be like me, I've got a website, I don't update it enough, update your website. In the more places you are. And also come to things like this. There's nothing like meeting people in person. The internet can only go so far. Personal interactions are where it's at. So I hope that makes sense. But that's what I'm doing.
I have one last question for the panelists before we open it up for questions. How can progressive and left media grow and further its impact in shaping the political discourse?
Media grow. Don't quit. Seriously, guys, don't quit. That's the thing, man. When I started doing videos 5 years ago, there were a lot of people who started around the same time, and it didn't happen quick enough for them, and they left. And it really sucks because they were good at what they were doing. They had great messages, and it took two and a half, maybe 3 years for me to hit a video that really hit mass awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like millions of views. And that video landed me on CBS. And I got excited. This is great. I'm on Dr. Phil's show. Wow. Everything's gonna change, right? Nothing changed, man. Don't get me wrong, it was nice going to Cali for the first time. Nice being on an airplane for the first time. They've never done that, right? Got to do it for free, so that was cool, the hotel. But life didn't change, so I went right back to work, man. I just kept doing it. And whenever you face an obstacle, you just plow through it. I'm proud to say that a lot of people on this panel have been on my channel. So collaborations are really important. All right, so reach out to people. And don't just do it one time. Somebody stopped me yesterday. They're like, Tim, I sent you an email. What the hell, Tim? You don't need emails. I get it. So I said, send it more than once. Nag me. You gotta look. Gotta nag the guy. Gotta nag the woman. Whatever. Because you get too much. But you gotta be relentless that way. And then what else? Collaborations, networking. What's another thing that was really big? Build a team. Lord. You'll find people active. Hashtag to death on every social media platform. Don't just post it. Find 5 hashtags. On Instagram, I put 10 hashtags in every post. Facebook, same thing. Hashtag have it. Do it. That's how you get awareness. What else? Blogs. Work with people in blogs. I know I have. Progressive. One thing I've learned, and my channel used to be called Progressive News with Tim Black, and people be turned off immediately. You know what I'm saying? Okay, because the title. So I dropped the title, and then we hit 100,000. I didn't change the content, and when I talk, I say, yeah, I'm a progressive, but the title, not having that in the title helped me. Just because people labels if you're letting Bill O'Reilly tell people what progressivism is, of course they're gonna hate it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, realistically, you know. So that helped me. Hopefully, when we go to the question, the Q&A, I can answer specific questions. But yeah, don't quit. Collaborate, network, bug the hell out of people you like to get exposure, and yeah, that's a good starting point. Like, who are you trying to talk to? Are you trying to talk to other progressives, or are you trying to make some conversions? See, that's important. So when we, like me, I'm trying to make conversions. Because you can talk to the choir all day, we're not moving the needle with that. You know what I'm saying? So one suggestion would be talk about other issues that aren't just strictly politics. I know it sounds creepy, but do it. Like, you know, like something that happened, something, I don't know, take what's going on with the NFL right now. You talk about that, and then you frame it in politics. There's a political edge to that. And then you reach all those people who didn't know who you were, who are not necessarily progressive, but, you know, they're kind of poking around to see what's out there. And it's like a hack for getting more awareness. Because what happens is if, you know, every progressive issue that comes out, all these guys are going to do videos. You're going to be competing against them. But if they don't do a video on Michael Bennett almost being shot in Las Vegas, now you got another audience. You bring them to the table. So that's what I do. It's my hack for being really, really small. And
Jimmy just took that idea.
You did? Fucking Jimmy.
You're still awesome, Tim.
Thank you.
Right here in the front.
Oh, okay. I had a question about, we've been talking mainly about visual media, about how do you promote great written media, like someone like Caitlin Johnson?
Same thing. Same thing. Caitlin Johnstone's a friend of mine. Same thing. You network, right? So like one of the reasons why her articles get so much play is because we share it.
Yes.
Right. So sharing is more. That should defeat the censorship. Like if you share something on your profile, your friends are going to see it. Now Google may step on it, but sharing is where it's at. As far as blogs, networking. Right? So if you put out a great blog post, you want some legs like Caitlin gets, well, she works with like H.A. Goodman, she works with me, she works with a number of other people who will retweet and share on various social media. That's how her name gets spread, and that's how the message gets spread. So yeah, sharing and networking once again, and bugging the hell out of people. Don't be timid, just keep going. I've had some great guests on my show. They didn't say yeah the first time. Nina Turner, Tim Canova, Jill Stein, and Kevin Dedden.
And yeah, just retweet her stuff, and then I also support her on Patreon.
Yeah.
So I think she's really courageous, and I like that she punches up.
What was your name?
Caitlin Johnson. One thing I
Caitlin
think
Johnson
reaches.
is awesome, by the way.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, I'd like to speak to the first part of that question about the pettiness. You know, I don't really care about the, you know, like, people disagree about stuff. Cool, man. Like, that's part of the internet. You know, just because we're progressive, we can disagree with each other. And sometimes it may get a little chippy. But also, when you get a little chippy, that's also good. Because now the conversations get bigger and bigger. As long as it doesn't get too personal. That's what you need. Like, you know, when we go after when we go after each other, like, you know, your mother dressed you funny and you got, you know, your car stinks, like that stuff, no. But when we disagree on issues and it bubbles up, like for real, like, I would love to go after Lee on something and Lee go back after me, and then you know what, how much play you get out of that? That's a good thing. That's how I got on the map by going after a guy who had like 1 million subscribers. But people have to have the you know, ability to communicate. Like, people know Jordan Sheridan and I had a falling out. Like, it was kind of big on the internet. But we never met each other, right? So finally we met and we talked and we're cool, right? Because we met in real life. So, but it helped me. Like, I thought, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be destroyed because TYT guy doesn't like me. He's called me this or called me that. But what happened was I picked up 3,000 more subscribers. Right? Like, so I had to ride it out. And that was even great because I went on Jordan's show. You know, he's gonna come on my show, so it's good. Yeah, I understand what Eleanor's saying. It's like, it doesn't make people feel good when their friends fight. I get that, right? But it's not serious. It's like, it's just a difference of opinion. My friend Jamal in the back, Jamal Thomas, you know, we had a little thing, and I'm going to apologize to him as soon as I get back there. Because it doesn't matter, and I'm glad he's at this conference. And I'm glad more people know about him, and I hopefully had a little bit to do with that.
It doesn't matter as long as it doesn't stop us from achieving our goals.
And you make the, right, so don't stop yourself. Now, if I were to let my tiff with Jordan stop me and I go, oh God, you know, he said mean things, yeah, then I lose and my viewers lose. But I'll tell you another thing. You have an obligation as a content creator. Like, I didn't always, like, what I did was I talked a lot about Bernie at every election stop. And sometimes it was painful because he lost. But it wasn't up to me if I had to go out and make that video, because it was an obligation to my viewers. So like when things happen, people want to know, what does Jimmy think about it? What does Eleanor think about it? What does Ron think? What does Lee think? And they're sitting there waiting for your take. They value that. So yeah, you can't let a little infighting, bad words, or anything, or social media drama, or shadow banning, or any of that stop you, because the people are counting on you. And me, I'm sustained by my viewers, not advertisers. Only reason why I have a show, because people contribute to my show directly via Patreon. So that's a model that Lee told me about a year ago, and I didn't implement it until recently. Lee said, go membership based, let your viewers pay. So
When do I get those royalties?
it's in the mail, Lee. It's in the mail.